How are you, Shirley?
I am fine.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being interviewed today. As everyone knows who's watching, we always have individuals on here telling their testimony of how they have overcome and they're conquerors, in Christ Jesus, as well as, telling us about, health matters where how do I overcome in eating? How do I exercise well? What is it that I need to do in order for me to be okay? And what advice could you possibly give someone else who possibly could be in the same shoes? So we're always looking for more intel. So I've asked Mike to come on the show today so that he could provide some good information because, my husband and I, we watched you go through your process.
Right.
And you were successful in navigating all of that. And I know sometimes when people look, at you and they say, wow, he went through that, but it didn't even seem like he had a matter or he didn't have an issue. But we all know that's not the case.
Right, definitely.
So if you could tell our listeners, what did you go through? And tell us your story.
Well, Shirley, thanks for having me, and I thank you and your husband, Daryl, for being there in the beginning towards the support. I mean, people don't realize the more support you have, the village, information, that all plays a major part towards if you're, trying to get through what you're getting through. I was a guy that I wasn't somebody who was super in shape, but I felt like I did enough to walking up and down the steps and picking up a couple things, playing with your kids a little bit. And I was somebody who was vigilant with my health. I got blood work done every year, and it just happened to be this one year, 2 years ago, where they said my PSA levels were high. Now, normally, when you looked at the records of my last couple PSAs over the years, it was like a 2.5 or 2. So when it comes to PSA towards a prostate, I think the warning signs is 4.0, anything higher than 4.0.
Okay.
So mine was like a 4.8. I think it even rose to a 5. So obviously, they don't want to go off the first signal. Let's do another blood work. And plus, when it comes to prostate, when you're getting your blood work done, they try to let you know that don't do any type of major activities like mow the lawn or play basketball.
That is so true.
Run a lap or two.
That is so true. It can literally alter your tests.
Yes.
So that is good. It happened to me too.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful.
So they want to make sure that, when you got that blood work done, that you didn't do anything, you just was normal.
Was normal, right?
And then once those results came back, obviously it showed that the levels were still elevated.
Okay.
And then it was the next step, and the next step was a biopsy. They wanted to do a biopsy on the prostate, and then that's when they honed in on the prostate a little bit more thoroughly, and they seen that it was there. Now, when they showed that it was there, it wasn't a major amount of cancer. It was actually less than 0.5%. And they even gave me options at that time. They're saying, let's wait 6 months. Let's see how it goes, because they were saying that the prostate is the most slow moving. But I felt as though if that thing is in me, what are my options to get rid of it?
Right.
So now, obviously, I still had a good prostate. I wasn't going to lose it off of a 0.5%.
Right.
So the options that they gave me was, they said radiation.
Okay.
So, when you don't know about radiation and when it comes to the word cancer, all kinds of things go through your head towards is this going to hurt?
What were some of the things they told you about radiation? Like if someone is watching and they say, what exactly is that? Because they've been so fearful.
Well, I was that person. I had to go seek knowledge.
Okay.
And what I did was I, contacted people who I felt as though might have went through this prostate thing and see, what happens with the radiation. So I had gathered up as much information as possible, and they basically said, Mike, you go in there for 10 to 15 minutes every day except the weekend.
Okay.
It's more of the prepping towards it. They don't want you to eat like 4 hours prior. You have to drink 8 ounces of water prior to your radiation, and I try to do it in the morning.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that. I know you did.
So I can knock it out and then prep
like,
at the end of the day.
I can't eat, right?
Yeah, so once I did that, it was more the prepping. But then once you get in there, it's like this fishbowl. And when I say fishbowl, it was like they had guys' appointments like 15 minutes to the hour. So let's just say my appointment was 9:15. They had a guy who was 9:30, 9:45, and they would just bring them in and bring them out. You don't realize how many men out there have prostate cancer until you go through it and see when you're in that bubble with these guys.
It's something that you said that, because how many people were having the appointments, yet we know, just by our own personal experience and people that we know, that the word still is not resonating with people, or I would say men. They don't always want to go to see information about it or go to the doctor. So how is it that so many in there, but yet there's so many that have not been tested?
Shirley, that's $1 million question right there, because I think each individual is different towards their information and their history of going to the doctors and denial. Some people feel like they don't go to the doctor unless they're in some type of pain or some type of major signal that takes them to the doctor. And sometimes it's in the blood and it might not show until it's too late. So that's why with me going every year to get that blood work, now I'm going twice a year. Because the earlier the detection of it, the better that you can focus it on. And then, like I said, when I went in there there was no pain. I went in there for 15 minutes. They laid me on the table. They did the radiation, in the area. And then it was like 42 to 45 treatments. And it went pretty quick. And then, like I said, when you're in that fishbowl with the guys, it's almost like going to the doctor and you're seeing guys who are dealing with the same thing you're dealing with, and nobody wants to say anything to each other. So after a week or two, everybody was saying, "Oh, what you're going through? Oh, I was going through this."
So you started seeing the same people.
Yeah, because everybody times were the same during that time, and then every Wednesday you had to see the doctor.
Okay.
And Wednesday was doctor day. So everybody had to see the doctor, and that's when the doctor talks to you and say, "How's your week going? How's everything going?"
So you were saying, so you actually started almost like a bond with some of these people.
Yeah. It now, not so much towards outside the office,
right?
But more so inside the office.
Commonality. Something that's common.
Because there are people who are very private about their affairs and everything like that, and sometimes. I didn't give the prostate any power. And sometimes giving it power is like constantly... See, it's one thing towards educating somebody.
Right.
And then there's another thing of using it as a beacon to say, feel sorry for me. Because I have this. And that's the one thing I didn't want to do. Because I'm part of a men's meeting that your husband is part of as well.
Yes.
And when I shared it with the gentleman, I'm basically saying that I'm not saying this to get a pity party. I'm saying this so we can educate ourselves. And even to the point that one of the brothers in the meeting knew that we were talking about it. And I said to the guys that we just all need to get ourselves checked. And one of the brothers went and got checked, and he realized that he had some type of cancer cells on his kidney. And he didn't have no symptoms prior to that. And he got it done. And to the grace of God, he got it removed, and it basically saved his life. So education is very major towards when we're dealing with things that affect our lives and family and friends.
I really like the fact that you utilized something that you were doing all along, helping people in the community in a men's room, and then taking the opportunity to empower them to say, hey, this is something that I do. You should try it too. It literally, even though you said it was half of, half a point or something like that.
Yeah, 0.5%, yeah.
But still, it saved your life.
No, but
avoided it, and it would have
definitely
grown.
Because at the end of the day, everybody's different.
Right.
Everybody reacts different. you know, they basically said I could have had this in my body until I was 90 years old and might not have grown once. I could have it in my body, and within 6 to a year, it done went to a place where I have to now get my prostate removed.
But your experience was enough. See, I truly believe that we go through things. It's not just to be going through them. It's always a reason. I believe it's a divine reason.
Yeah.
And so you could have gone through this, and I'm just hypothetically saying, simply just to save someone else's life. You know, and in that men's ministry, being able to talk to the men and say, hey, there's something that I did, why don't you try this? And then one person, just all you need is one.
Yes.
But it was, you know, many of them that went and got the, and it wasn't just the PSA, they got a blood work, right?
Yeah, blood, total physical and everything like that. But I tell you this much, when, after the biopsy, and the doctor told me, I mean, I had a moment, and that moment was, okay, we got this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a person who loves water. Obviously, you can see in the back, water all around me. But I had drove to Cooper River Park. I looked at the water, and I just, you know, prayed to God, just saying, okay, what are we going to do about this? And then I just felt as though that, you know, He got me to this point, and He wasn't going to let me go. And then I wasn't going to give that cancer power. And then I said, okay, let's strap up and do what we're going to have to do to fight this and beat this. The only issue that I had was when you tell people that you care about love, because as soon as you say that cancer word, it's like, oh my God, you know, and it's like, okay, let me give you a moment, because I understand that's your initial reaction, and I get it.
Yeah.
But once you see that person go through it, take a deep breath and say, I'm going to be okay.
Right.
And I think people started to feed off of me. And they said, well, I hate to say this, you don't look sick. You ain't acting like you're sick. You ain't acting for a pity party. And even if I was looking like I'm sick and acting like I'm sick, just pray for me.
There you go.
Just pray for me, because I think that plays a major part too. Because if you're a prideful person, the average prideful person do not want pity.
No.
And they don't want to look up pity.
No.
And they don't want you to start treating them like some type of charity case.
I think one of the things why people sometimes shy away from telling anyone or avoiding being around people. For you particularly, you may not have, and I don't remember you losing your hair. I don't remember anything like that.
No, when it comes to the radiation, there was no thing of losing hair.
So most people, if it's a chemo, you lose your eyebrows, because that's what happened to me. Your eyebrows, you lose your hair, it starts just coming out. You must just shave it off, you know, empower yourself.
Sure.
But in that, there is no, I'm going to fake it and act like nothing is wrong. Like, you know.
No, right.
So it's a matter of somebody like, you okay? Like, you know, they instantly say, are you all right? And you have to have that conversation with them.
And I think that what's important is that the village that you surround yourself with, because when you surround yourself with a village of support, and then I found out there were men who had prostate cancer, and their education of what they were telling me during that time played a major part towards me being empowered by it.
Yes.
And that played a major part, more than you can imagine, people. The more education that you have on something, the more you can fight and get through this thing. And because the thing about life is that all of us is human. You know what I mean? We all bleed. We all hurt. We all feel like, you know, we all have an expiration date. Nobody is not going to go around
to die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but we just don't know when that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
But as long as God gives me the strength to get up each and every day, I'm going to fight that good fight until I can't fight it no more. But that village, the people that you surround yourself with, that's constantly giving you that positive motivation.
Absolutely.
People, when I say this over and over again, that plays major part. Because think about when somebody's loved ones, their husband or their wife pass away.
Yeah.
The spouse passed away from a broken heart. because they feel like I just can't live no more because the person that meant so much to me is not here no more.
That's true.
I truly believe that if you give the devil that energy, he will grab you.
Absolutely.
He will grab you.
Absolutely. That is so true. And that is, when people have, especially in marriages, we've been together so long, the spouse does pass away, I think more than half, they end up going within a certain amount of time anyway.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it's like that because in all reality,
and it's, and you can't, you look at it and you say the two did become one. If it's 40, 50 years, the two became one.
But see, anybody that you love and you care about, if I'm going down, that doesn't mean you have to go down with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You still have a lot of life to live.
Absolutely.
And that's saying that don't let my life be in vain. Like carry on, because if we have kids and people who love ones, okay, if I'm gone, they need you.
Right. I know, listen.
And vice versa.
We all agree with you on that.
So let's not just leave them homeless
I know
that.
That's not our conversation, but at the same time, I think that's a conversation couples should have.
Yeah.
Because if you've been married that long, and you got to tell them, it's okay, you can go on. You can go on without.
See, that's why people always say, get your house in order.
Yes.
Because it's major, because each second, each minute, each day is not given to us. And we have to make sure that our spouses know our business as well as we know their business, and the kids know our business. Because it's not when the days are sunny, it's what you do when the days are raining and it's pouring.
Yes.
Who's going to stand up and say, yo, mom wouldn't want this, dad wouldn't want this, my brother wouldn't want this, my sister wouldn't want this. Somebody's got to stand up.
But I think it goes back to, like you said, the village that you had. You had support from your wife, you had support, from your family members, you had support from your friends.
Yes.
Just people in the church people, just being a constant support to you. And you had your faith. You had God who was with you the whole time, even when you couldn't talk to maybe your wife, or you couldn't talk to your friends. You know how they say, oh, these are my best boys. But you know what? Sometimes God is just me and you. That's that conversation.
It's funny you say that, Shirley, because in all reality, I think that if you were fortunate enough to go through life and never really been through stuff, it's like a good bad thing. It's like, yes, you've been blessed that you've been taken care of, but at the same time, you really haven't gone through anything. I've gone through stuff all my life. I was homeless at one time. My mom was a mother who raised 4 kids, and we lived in a car, we lived in a motel. So in all reality, there were minutes and moments where we can even make an argument that we shouldn't even have been here, because there were so many things taking us in so many different ways. It's almost like the devil coming to you and saying, are you ready to go? And I said, devil, you can't do nothing to me that hasn't already been done.
How about that?
But he wants you to give up. And I'm saying I'm not. So when it comes to materialistic things, when it comes to the worldly things that people say you should give power to, take it.
Yeah.
Because the minute I become slave to that, when that is affected, I'm affected. The only person I'm affected by is the man upstairs. That's why you can take everything from me and I will still be me. Some people got to do a check on themselves, because what God are they following?
And I don't recall the exact scripture at this moment, but the Bible talks about the way a man thinks in his mind, that is the way he thinks.
But it's the truth, and the thing about it is that I go back to, people like yourself, Shirley, and your husband, Darryl, Pastor, because you guys do it unconditionally with no royalties coming back to you from the world.
Preach.
You know what I mean? And you still keep coming. But see, people want you to.
It's the assignment.
No,
it's the assignment.
And see, I'm glad you said assignment, because there are people feel like, before I do the assignment, what is it in for me? you don't take breathing, life, eating, the necessities that God has provided for you.
Right.
That's not a check paid in full for you to recognize what He has done for you.
That's right.
But we get caught up in, but we get caught up in this world that this world tells you got to have these amount of zeros in your bank account.
Yeah.
This world tells you got to drive this type of car.
Yeah.
You got to wear these type of clothes.
Yeah.
All of us like nice things, but at what price are you sacrificing to get it?
Yeah.
So that's why when you go through any kind of medical health situation, you have to say, what is your fight? My fight is God. I am 55 years old.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been here 45, 35, 25. And He gonna let me see another day? So if He was to take me right here, right now, I am so grateful and thankful because He owes me nothing. But as long as I'm on this earth, I'm going to do everything I can to touch, reach, and teach any and everybody I can.
This is impactful. I mean, oh my goodness, you can see we got a crowd of people around. You can't see them right now, but it's just, it's wonderful that we can sit here and I can see how God has brought you through and how He has blessed you to have your community. And there's so many people out here, they resist their community. They don't want the help. And they're sitting in their houses. Sometimes it's mental health issues, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just stubbornness, angry, whatever it could be. But as you can see, Mike is saying today, embrace your support system. Embrace those people that are around you because it's really important.
It's like that song, The God in Me. Like, people see what you're driving. People see how you're living. And they don't realize you get on your knees. They don't realize that I bought these sneakers for $20. They don't realize I got that at the Salvation Army. There's certain things that people think that person must be this and must be that.
Right.
Get to know me. Get to know who I am.
That's right.
And realize this does not make me. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
If you're blessed to have anything that is a blessing, it's only yours temporarily. Only yours temporarily.
That is the truth.
Believe me, 30, 40, 50 years,
Totally understand that.
I would love to live 100 years old. But 50 years from now, somebody else is going to be living in this house. Somebody's going to be swimming in this pool, and it ain't going to be me. And I'm okay with that. Because it was my time, I lived my life. Just like 50 years ago, somebody else was here. And see, we got to stop. Mine.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You see, I get people fired up and encouragement on fire, you guys.
You see what you done did to me, Shirley?
But that's good. It's good to be on fire about what you believe in.
Yeah.
That, no matter what, you are going to always give glory to God. No matter what, you're going to help your people in the community. No matter what, your resources, when you see someone in need, you're going to be that person to say, whatever I have, I got it for you too.
Yes.
And that is a phenomenal thing to do. And it takes a person who is led by God to be that.
Yes.
Because most people don't do that.
And then I really want to stress men of color, black men. Black men, we're a dying species. We don't go to the doctors like we should. We don't take care of our body like we should. Our mental is damaged for a lot of different reasons. And it's understandable, brothers. Been there. Did it, done it. And I'm still a work in progress. But if you can just look at yourself in the mirror and you say to yourself, God, show me the way. Show me what I can do to be a better man. That first day, you get on your knees and you just say, God, show me the way. He's going to start putting people around you. He's going to start putting things around you that you feel like, I don't deserve this. Why are you doing this? And just those little, a bit of encouragement can go a long way. And that's what He did for me. That's what he did for me. By sending Daryl into my life as a man. See, when you see brothers who look like you, act like you, walk like you, say, is there more of you? Is there more of you?
Yeah.
Yes, it is more of us. So brothers, that's all I'm trying to say is there's more of us who wants to live this godly life. None of us is perfect. Nobody's sitting up here saying that you got to be perfect. But when I am saying that you know right from wrong, you got to get away from those negative people. I rebuke negativity. Anytime somebody comes to me about the dam is broke, let's look at it. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world. This is going to happen. That's going to happen.
Right.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Right.
All right? Because we're so programmed on negativity.
Yep.
But I tell you, when I'm around positive people,
yes,
man, you want to talk about the real superhero? You want to talk about the real Avengers? Those are the real superheroes. See, we get caught up on the stuff on the movie screen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go Comic-Con. That's all good for entertainment purpose. But the real superheroes are you women. And I'm going to tell you why. We still trying to figure it out as brothers. But you women, and especially black women, have been holding it down for years. And all I can do is commend you for doing that. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
When I see my mom out there busting her butt, what did that do for me? That means I could be a little bit better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A king comes from a queen.
All right.
Think about that.
All right. All right.
Pass the
That's
plate
good,
today.
right? Pass the plate. Pass the plate.
Yeah, Shirley, you know.
Well, you know, well, Mike, I just want to thank you so much. Everything you said was wonderful. We're going to have Mike Hurt back, and possibly we're going to have his wife back, and we're going to talk about some other topics in the future of Encouragement on Fire. Okay? All right. So thanks again.
Thank you, Shirley, for having me. And like I said, please, especially men and men of color, go to the doctors. Get yourself checked out. God bless you all. It's going to be another day.
This has been Encouragement on Fire. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.